Terry's not there either?
Oh, there's Becky.
Oh, good, yay, Becky.
Okay, well, we have a quorum now. No, Jerry's not here.
The girls are
Okay,
here.
Jerry's not, but Terry is, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, cool, got it.
And Brahma's not, correct?
We'll see in
Oh,
just
yeah,
a
but he
second.
said he would be a few minutes
Late.
and he's
Okay.
Trying to get the live stream.
We're just waiting a minute for live stream and then I'll start.
Okay.
And I think Tiffany, Joan is in the waiting room. I'm not sure if there's anyone else there.
Zoom doesn't ask me to let people in or not. I actually don't have a waiting room set up on Zoom.
Okay, I will send her that. I'll send her that. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's turned off. She's in. There we go.
Yeah, what do you do when it's turned off? It
They have to
They
call back.
shouldn't. Yeah, maybe they just go to call back because I don't have one.
Yeah, it's happened to me.
Really?
When I tried to log in too early and,
Oh, maybe that's what.
Yeah, where it's just waiting for hosts and it just
Yeah.
never shit comes on.
yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, I think we're ready to go, folks. So, I'm gonna call to order this regular meeting for Thursday, November 9th, 2023 at 6 p.m. of the Fraser Park Public Utility District. We have 2 additional teleconference locations, 820 Elm Trail, Fraser Park, California 93225 and 3844 Mount Pinos Way, Fraser Park, California 93225. So members of the public interested in participating by teleconference may do so using the call-in information above. And then there's some other stuff, but I don't think I need to read that. So I'm calling this meeting to order. We're going to start by a push to the flag. So everyone stand, please. Ouch. Okay, ready? Begin.
I
pledge
pledge
allegiance
pledge
to the flag
allegiance
of the
to the
United
flag
States
of the United States of America,
Republic,
for which it stands,
under God,
indivisible,
and justice. Thank you. Okay, we'll call directors. Director Garcia, I believe, is absent. Director Nyman, hopefully will come on late. Director Kelling
here.
and Director Gibson.
here.
Okay, so currently we have 3 directors present, which is a quorum, so we will continue our agenda. Item number 2, discussion vote, adjust agenda if necessary. I will entertain a motion to adjust the agenda in regard to
11 and 12.
11 and 12.
I move that we table 11, which is a closed session, and 12, which is a closed session.
I second it.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that motion and then we'll see if there's anything else that needs to be changed. So roll call of directors, unless there's any discussion. Director Garcia is absent. Director Nyman is absent. Director Kelling.
Here, aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
And Director Schoenberg is an aye to table item 11 closed session and item 12 closed session. Okay, so those sessions are tabled.
302.
300.
So I'm sorry, 3-0-0-2 absence, yes. Okay, is there anything else that you see that needs to be adjusted?
I didn't see anything that, I mean, there's not gonna be a lot of updates, but both room anyway.
Anything else?
Okay,
Unless we want to table the meeting, the minutes.
Oh, table the minutes.
I move that we table the 22, which is the approval of the meeting minutes.
do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion before I do a roll call of directors? Okay, Director Garcia is absent. Director Nyman currently is absent still. Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
and Director Schoenberg is an aye. The minutes are tabled until when? You didn't say that's from your motion?
Until, the
The
next
next
meeting.
regular? or
Next
the
regular meeting. That gives you plenty of time to get them done. The next regular meeting of December.
Probably.
Okay, so they're tabled, the amendment's accepted, right, Director Gibson? I don't think we need to vote again, but table until the next, you're good with that, Director Gibson? Can you hear us?
Becky?
Yes.
Is the yes, you can hear us, or the yes is you're good with us tabling until the next regular meeting in December, the minutes? We forgot to add that to the motion.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay, perfect. So we will go ahead and amend that.
Sorry I wasn't hearing.
Oh, that's okay, sorry. Item 3, public comments. Items not listed on the agenda, limited to 5 minutes. Thank you. Are there any public comments? Not on the agenda. Okay, seeing, hearing none. Item 4, report of officers, president. Director Gibson, do you have anything to report?
Becky, do you have anything to report as the president?
No, I don't. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Vice President, I don't have anything that I can think of. Secretary is not here. Treasurer is not here. JPIA representative.
I have nothing.
Okay, we'll move on to item 5, board member initiatives. Are there any board member initiatives that need to be discussed? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the manager's reports.
All right.
Item 6.
We had a leak at the bottom of Alcott again and right at Mount Pinos. High pressure gas line was there, a 4-inch medium pressure gas line and a 2-inch gas line. So they made us bring in the hydrovac again. That's one of the checks I'm sure was cut. And that went well. We also had a leak at our bat spot on each end at the bottom. We fixed that. We all went out there and worked. One of the employees, his wife, actually, even though I tried to get her to take pay, volunteered to flag, to help us flag because it's only one way.
Yeah.
Right there. There was nothing else we could do about it. I still think I should pay her, but she is adamant that the first one's free. So that was very nice of her. She said,
Then we'll be hooked and we'll be paying her.
yeah, well, I mean, sometimes we need that, and we found out before that hiring,
It's expensive.
not just expensive, but they're worthless. They're no good. They don't pay attention. They don't do what they're supposed to do. So anyway, we all worked out there together on that one. We also had a leak on Oak, and Mount Pinos. We fixed that. I had asphalt replaced in both spots, so we'll be getting the bill for that. Zito Media again. We tried to use it for the upgrade on the telemetry, wouldn't work. So Tiffany called a few times. I called, finally got a hold of somebody, and they said they haven't billed us again for months. So we owe $1,200. So, we've told them before to do mail billing because they're not doing mailing or emailing. So they said that they fixed it this time, they said. And I said, well, when we get the bill, we'll pay it. And then we're just gonna close you out. We're not gonna do business with you anymore. The AT&T or the telemetry does need an additional internet, static IP dedicated. So I'm gonna look at the AT&T internet that's cellular based, like the T-Mobile that me and Tiffany have. It works so good. So I need to go down and see about getting it. I think I can get a good deal on it because of my phone is FirstNet. And that said that when he's FirstNet as well for the first responders, and that you get a package deal for the phone and the Wi-Fi and everything. So I'll be doing that. You'll be seeing something about that. And then I wanted to point out that the crew, is doing really good. The newest guy, Joshua, seems to really be taking to it good. Everybody gets along good, so I'm really happy with the way the crew's going. And that's all I got.
Wait, what's
What
this
about the?
One more.
That's a line item. Oh, okay, hey,
Yes,
Okay.
item A.
okay, this is the one that we were talking about. They built the house. There's no way around giving them water, but I talked to Santana today. They made didn't write it on here. I think she just made a deposit for the will serve.
For this, yeah, it's on here.
$200 deposit.
200.
Okay. She says she's anxious to get it done. Now Santana, he's got to get the bond and everything that, will be required. And he's working on that right now. He said that as soon as I give him the go ahead that you guys approve this service, then he'll get the bond and everything that you guys require. And then we'll make sure it's all got all the ducks in a row and he'll be doing the mainline extension.
And how much of mainline extension on that is it?
Well, it's gonna be roughly, I'm just gonna have to throw a guess out there, 100 feet, maybe 150 feet off of, Pine Canyon. And the way Jeff French drew it up is he's their civil engineer. He drew it up trying to tie it into an old 2-inch that supposedly is in the road somewhere. I didn't like that, so I talked to Dee about it. He didn't like it either because it would put extra pressure and stress on the old line. And I also wanted it so we could continue farther on at a later date off that 6-inch. And so I had Curtis and Dee, they drew up a different plan where it's gonna be have a blind flange that we connect you later and a fire hydrant that's gonna go to the side so we could flush the water and stuff because it'll basically be a dead end line at that point. So those are the plans that we're going for. That's what we're gonna make them do if they want water service. So it's gonna benefit us. And we just have to approve the will serve. And then as soon as she gives the rest of the money and Santana gives me the bond, then we'll be good.
And they're paying for all the
yeah.
mainline extensions, just not on here.
Yeah, they're paying for all that.
And then did they also pay for Dee's drawings and stuff, or is that something?
No, they don't pay for D's. They paid for Jeff French's. And then it's up to us to send it to our engineer to be approved. So. Just need to vote.
I can entertain a motion if we're gonna go ahead and approve those. And what, so this is coming off of the yard?
Pine Canyon.
No, I know.
Yeah, the yard, yeah, the main gravity zone, yeah.
So, okay.
I will make a motion that we approve the application for water. Did you already start it, Kelly? Terry?
Nope.
So
Nope.
I make a motion that we approve the application for water service installation at 3816 Kiwanis Trail. Should I say their name as well?
No.
I would say lot block or APN.
Just, okay, so the address is enough, or say their name?
No. You did good.
Okay, Guardado?
No, you're fine. I guess I have to second this.
Okay, so that's my motion.
Well, so that mailing address is the same as the actual address, correct? Because she's saying the mailing address, and I was trying to get her to say that.
No, the actual address is 3816 Kiwanis.
That's
whatever
what
that
she
is.
said.
The mailing address is 14061 Heron.
I know, but it says under name of applicant, mailing address, and that's what she said, so.
Yeah,
Okay,
but that's where that's where the house is now at.
Okay, yeah, I don't know, that's what I'm
So,
asking.
yeah.
Cause it doesn't
And-
say that specifically. Can we just, can I entertain that we just add the APN to this, if someone seconds the motion?
Well, I guess I have to second it. And the APN number is 260-127-11.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor in a second. Is there any discussion before we take a roll call vote? I would say that, so there aren't any other applications for water service that we are holding that are coming off of well 6 right now, because,
No,
okay.
Well,
there's only been a few inquiries over
Is
the
that-
last year and a half, but nobody has filled out
Is ready to do it,
yeah.
okay.
no, they're building their homes and then asking for water.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a roll call vote if there's no other questions. So Director Garcia is absent, Director Nyman is absent, Director Kelly.
I guess.
Under duress of
Under
aye.
duress.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
Okay, and Director Schoenberg is under duress as well, and I'm just gonna say that that is because this home was built and before they ever asked if we could provide water, so that's putting the cart before the horse, or however you say that
Yep.
for sure, so
But really, we gotta blame the county for that.
yeah, I mean, it's a county
Well,
issue, it's not the,
It's-
but I'm still, I'm voting yes, but I'm not happy about it. And I don't think Director Kelling is as well. So that's 3-0-0. That motion does pass. We will approve this application for water service installation for a will serve letter. And that, did I say, is 3-0-0-2 absent. Okay, anything else, or 6B?
Okay, so as you know, I came back from the conference today. There was a lot of
Yay.
really good information. There was a lot of really good information. I'm going to have the bylaws on the agenda for the first meeting in December. There is one that I learned that we should add. Just a bit, it's going to be regarding public conduct at our meetings. And I won't go into details, but because it's been a lot of an issue for some, especially in the remote meeting world, the hybrid meeting world, it's something we need to put on there that will help us defend ourselves if we need to, legally. So that'll be on there, which is good. And then I learned there is an option if we do get a little weary of my makeshift teleconferencing stuff. There's a company that will do like a consult. They'll look at your room and then give you options for a more professional setup. If we ever want to look into it, I mean, I know a quote isn't an obligation. So if we ever wanted to get a quote, they said they do systems that cost hundreds up to 100,000s. So hundreds sounds good. If we can get a simple, a simple system, maybe that's a little more consistent since this is running into little problems, but it's something to think about. And then learned about a lot of other laws. So it was a good conference. I'm glad I went. It's been a while, so I needed all those updates. And then everything else is agenda items.
I would just like to make a comment that I would like to see us put something in the floor so that we don't have this massive wire before we even worry about that, because I
Mhm.
feel like that's a safety hazard.
It absolutely is.
They may do that because I know they talk
And
about
if
ceiling
they're,
stuff.
if they do that as part of it, then I would personally be interested in hearing what they have to say.
Oh, yeah, we definitely have to do that, but we also have to decide that we're gonna spend money on at least flooring.
Yeah.
And so we could sock out the floor, because we can't sock out the floor until we decide on flooring. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it could just be colorized concrete, something cheaper.
That's just my 2 cents that I'm always
I agree,
worried
me
about
too.
that. Okay, let's see, so anything else? Any questions for Tiffany?
Should we just go ahead and have her, get a quote and
Yeah, I mean,
see
the
see what they
quote's
wanna
free.
do?
What do you think, directors?
Quotes are free. They'll let us know what a good possible solution is and
And if it's something crazy, we can tell
so
them no.
Exactly.
And then we'll have to, then we'll know if we have to ourselves get the concrete cut and everything, so if they said it, then maybe we won't have to worry about that.
Director Gibson, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, if everybody's, you know, wanting to move forward with that.
Okay, so I think that was a vote of confidence for you to get a quote. Okay, anything else for Tiffany? Okay, item number 7, standing committee reports. We're gonna start with the accounts payable committee.
We met, we went through invoices, we asked Deborah to cut checks and, Becky, are you willing to sign the third signatures?
Yes.
Okay. Somebody will be probably around.
Okay, and I'm
Okay,
sorry that I'm so isolated. Yeah, and apparently I can't hear either, but hey.
It's okay, I can't either, Becky.
So Director Nyman, who's
Stay stuck in traffic.
I was in traffic. I missed that word.
Yeah, he's not home yet.
Oh, okay. Okay, so, and did you want to mention that we did not have any of the credit cards?
Oh, we didn't have any of the, 3 major credit cards and the, Ace Hardware, billing yet. So they'll be coming next week when we have our next meeting, our second meeting.
Okay, state update, meeting committee.
There's nobody here.
Is that the one that I substituted this month or no, I don't think I don't know.
It's next week, so
Oh, it's next week, yeah, so that hasn't happened. Yeah,
Oh, that's the same day as our meeting, huh?
it is, it's a double duty.
Okay,
it's happened before.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, item 8, ad hoc committee reports, project committee. So we did talk with Dee, and I think we reported on that. I think that happened before the last meeting, but I'll just say it again in case we didn't, that we did meet with the owners of the well site number 9. We went over possibilities for that, and I think that that's just moving ahead. That's gonna come up again,
Yeah.
but I will just say that that was a productive meeting and we were supposed to meet again and we have not yet. The financial committee, that we met and we met.
We met
since
and
the last
everything is
meeting.
all done and it
Oh.
went to the auditors.
And they okayed.
And we now have to sign their letter of engagement and well, they're working on it all.
Yeah, they agreed to start without the letter of engagement completed, but but we have it tonight. Okay, and the generator pad construction committee is not here. There was a note here on D. Jasper's notes as our district engineer is also not here. It says generator pad construction committee, pads are designed, preparing the plans and specifications for bidding.
I know Jerry had reached out to some contractors. I didn't hear what the bids were yet, and Alan, our attorney, we have to have them bid at prevailing wage. So that's what they're bidding it at.
Yeah, but that's what Jerry was going to get them to do. And now
That's what I said.
but now all of a sudden D says he has to do it.
No, he's not doing it.
Well, that's
That's not
what he
what-
says here. And that's what he said last meeting. And we're like, well, wait a minute, Jerry was doing it.
He is doing it. No, I don't think that's what he meant. I think he just meant that.
Well, but that's what he says. He says he's preparing the plans and specifications for bidding. Because he says he had to do it and Jerry couldn't do it.
I think he
Anyway.
said he had to do it because it's prevailing wage and there's some special stuff you have to do when you.
He said he has to do it.
I believe
That's-
he
I
did,
believe he
yes.
I'm ready just to say set him down on the ground and not even pour a pad, because this is gonna bankrupt the little limited funds we have.
Mhm.
And I see no reason that we even have to technically have pads for it. I mean, you ain't stealing them.
No,
You know, they weigh 7,000 pounds, and we could, later on, when we're in better financial straits, we could do something different with them.
the only thing, they have to be level, right?
And that's only reasonably level. We could do that, no problem.
Okay.
We have to, we can set them on railroad ties.
Well, I think that should be added to the agenda for the next.
Oh, it's already on
meeting
there.
to discuss. I mean,
What we'll do is when we get to that point, if the bids are outrageous that we can't afford, then that's when we just decide that we're not gonna do them.
Yeah. Well, I was really confused because Jerry wasn't here to defend himself. And Dee said he had to do it, and I went, but Jerry's doing it, and Dee says, no, I have to do it. Because,
it says discussion vote on engineering design, but I think there should be a discussion vote on bidding. A C, 16C.
Okay. Me.
Okay, are there any questions thus far? Otherwise I will move on. Okay, financial business, item 9, discussion vote on accounts payable and financial information. This is Deborah.
Good evening, everyone.
good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
You can't hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, go. Yes,
Yes.
Okay. So from the planning account, we cut 4 checks for a total of $20,786.32. All of the disbursements were for claim 33. There was a extraordinary disbursement of $7,161 that went to D for an engineering report on claim 33, and $10,908.50 for engineering design on claim 33.
A quick question, Deborah, on the Young Wooldridge one, can you, which you didn't get to, or you did get to, but can that closer to the invoice number just say claim 33? All the rest of them do, but it's cut off.
Yes,
Oh, well, that's because-
I marked the report to add it.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, and then out of the revenue operating account, we issued 21 checks for a total of $19,666.01. And the extraordinary disbursement was our Edison bill for $7,053.86. And that's it.
Well, I have a question, and I just need some clarity on it. Are we getting the invoices in time from our engineer?
yes.
Does it seem like we're paying out a lot for board meetings?
Yeah, we always pay for the first board meeting. It's just somehow how it ended up, and the second board meeting is always a claim. So it's
Okay.
just how it's panned out over the project.
And it seems higher because he raised his rate.
Yeah, he raised the rates significantly.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion in regard to the accounts payable.
I move that we pay
I will
our
make a
bills.
motion that we pay our bills.
I'll second that one.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion before we vote? Roll call directors. Director Garcia is absent. Director Nyman is absent. Director Kelly.
Yes, aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
And Director Schumberg is an aye, so that motion passes 3-0-0-2 absent. We will be paying our bills, and I don't know if you want to stick around, Deborah, just in case there's any issue with the auditor. The letter of engagement, I don't know if you
She probably didn't
have
see
any
it.
input for that.
I
Or
don't have
not.
any input, but I can stay if there's something I'm going to learn.
I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know.
Well, she doesn't have this in front of her.
I do
You
not.
don't have a copy of that, right?
No, I do not.
Then I
Tiffany
think
got
it
this when you
probably
got
won't
back,
do
right?
any good, so.
Yeah,
So I guess, we'll just discuss it, and then if anything comes up, we'll be able to notify them.
Okay.
So I guess that means, no, you don't need to stick around.
have a nice evening, Deborah.
Thank you for
Okay.
all your.
Thank you. Everybody have a good evening and a good weekend.
You
Thank
too.
You too,
you.
Deborah.
Thank you.
Okay, on to item 10, discussion vote on the engagement letter with BHK for the 22-23 audit. So we have that in front of us. It's the usual two, they always give two letters. One is, just talks about their responsibility. It's like a very, generic letter, I believe, and then the other one is actually, I think this one's less generic, and then this one is the generic one of what they do.
The only thing we gotta check is because they're doing the two audits
Yeah, but
together.
it says two. Yeah, it says the years ended 2023 and 2022.
Okay. As long as we got both of them in there. June 23 and, okay.
I believe we're just reading this through to make sure that there's anything weird.
I make a motion that we approve the engagement letter with BHK for the 2022 and the 2023 audits.
I will second that.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion on this before we vote? So the motion said the letter of engagement?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so roll call directors. Director Garcia is absent. Director Nyman is absent. Director Kelling.
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
And Director Schoenberg, I didn't read all the way through this, but I'm gonna say aye. It's usually pretty boilerplate. So I will say aye also, as otherwise we can't move forward. And anyway, motion passes. I didn't get to see the price, but it looks.
It's on the very back
Yeah,
page.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is 3-0-0 with 2 absent. And so we will sign the letter. Becky will be signing the letter of engagement.
Hey, I have a question that's not going to affect our vote. And it's a question I always ask, but then I forget. But how many more years can we use BHK? Don't we have to change our auditors in a certain number of years?
Yes, but they switched the physical person who's doing the audit. So I think as long as they switch the internal person that's doing it, we don't actually, because that was a question we had a couple of years ago. So they actually gave us, that's this new person that we've been working with, Danira. So that, and the other, before we had a different person.
Patrick.
Yeah.
That saves us a huge amount of money because they have their archive stuff and.
Yeah, so I think the issue is just to have some, not have the same people year after year in case there's something going on, but because it's a different person within the firm representing, things, I think that we're able to do that.
Okay,
Becky, will
thank you.
you
I'll
be-
try not to forget it next year.
No, that's fine.
Will you be available Monday for a signature?
No, I'm having surgery on Monday.
Okay, I might have, if they're gonna bring by checks for signatures, can you bring by the letter? Okay,
I'll be bringing that too, Becky.
Well, I really appreciate it. It's really nice of you. Thank you.
Huh?
Okay, so that's that. Okay, and so we're moving on to item 11. No, those were tabled, 12 is tabled. Item 13, discussion vote update on Fraser Park, Lakeland Wood consolidation planning project. And like I said, we have these notes from Dee, so I will be reading those as we go. So, item 13. A, discussion vote review of the project timeline and extension. D has no changes. I don't think that we have anything new to report on that. Item 13B, discussion vote on a budget adjustment. Again, nothing new from D Jasper and Associates. Anyone else have anything that needs to be discussed on that, Carlos?
yeah, we have the adjustment.
Is that on this one?
It's in your,
Yeah, but
Packet
is
in
that
front
on,
of you.
is that for this?
yeah,
Oh, okay, so then there is a new adjustment,
yeah.
okay. Is that what we're running out of
So
engineering?
Carlos, this is for you. So we're on item 13B, the budget adjustment. So that letter was sent to Lawrence Sanchez or is being sent to Lawrence Sanchez. I believe
No,
that needs to be
it hasn't been sent yet. You guys have to approve it first. And then Tiffany will send it. So basically, we were running low on consolidation engineering funding. We only had like maybe 4,000, a little bit over $4,000 left in there, I believe. So we got together and we decided we're gonna move. The only place we could really move money from was engineering design, which had a budget of $266,166. So we decided to move over $35,197.66 into consolidation engineering. So that changes the original budget of 45,000, or not the original, the latest budget of $45,757.27. We increased it by 35,197.66. So the revised budget now is $80,954.93. So by decreasing engineering design by the $35,197.66, that budget went from $266,166 to $230,968.34.
And I believe we discussed, Carlos, that if we pass this, that somewhere down the road, we will probably have to ask for additional funding because D may not have enough money in his engineering design, but that is something we would have to do down the road with Lawrence as well.
Yeah, we'd have to.
Correct?
Yeah, we said we'd start kind of putting it in his ear now so he can start thinking about it.
Okay, you have double dollar signs, just a typo on the letter.
Yeah,
I'll fix it, cause I.
yeah, Tiffany can fix it.
Okay,
And then have it ready for Becky to sign tonight.
okay, well, I will entertain a motion in regard to that letter.
I'll make a motion that we approve the new budget letter.
Do I
I
hear
will
a
second it.
second? Okay, so it's motioned and seconded. Is there any discussion on that before we take a roll call of directors? Okay, Director Garcia is absent. Director Nyman is absent. Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
and Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that motion is passed. So Carlos, Tiffany will be amending that and putting it on our letterhead, and it'll be taken to Director Gibson to sign this evening, and then it'll go off to Lawrence. So thank
Okay, sounds
you.
good.
Okay, item 13C, discussion vote update on the standby fee assessment and funding.
Uh, before you,
Jasper doesn't have.
before you move on,
Yeah.
before you move on to that, I did put the date of the next meeting because I was thinking you were gonna present it to Lawrence first and then approve it at the next meeting. So if Tiffany wants to change that November 16th date to today's date, that's fine as well.
Okay, thank you. He's talking about on the budget letter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just need to approve the letter before we can even send it to them, so. I thought they were, oh no, I guess they didn't talk to Lawrence yet because that meeting hadn't happened yet.
Right.
So do we feel like we have a meeting again next week? Do we want to have them talk to Lawrence first and then vote on this next week?
We
Uh,
can, but
I mean, you can have it approved, and if Lawrence has an issue, then you can say,
And then we'll alter it and we won't send it.
yeah, we won't send
Yeah,
it.
I agree because we're gonna run up to the Thanksgiving weekend,
Yes.
Thanksgiving holiday, and we may run into problems, so. Okay, so we'll go ahead and leave that as it stands. It's been approved, 3-0-0, 2 absent. And we will have Director Gibson sign it, and then
Can you
the
close my door?
state.
Hey, just a reminder, everyone, Lawrence is out next week. He's
Oh,
not going to
that's
be at that
right.
meeting.
He won't be at the state meeting. But he said to email him with any
Well,
questions.
just send it, it's
you
approved,
can send
we'll
it
send it,
anyways.
and then he can tell us, he can tell us what he thinks. Or not. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on. 13C, discussion about update on the standby fee assessment and funding. That would, D has nothing, but that would be Tiffany and self-help.
Carlos.
Yeah, I'm still working out the kinks in the work plan because I had to add several deliverables to it. So I'm still working on that. I should have it um done by next week, hopefully.
Okay. And we have another meeting next week, so we'll be able to discuss that. Okay, so moving on, unless there's any other questions on that, we will move to item 13D, the project technical memo. He just said he's continuing to work on the technical memo. Is there anybody else that has anything on that?
What
Okay,
did he
moving
say at
on
the
to-
last meeting?
That he was continuing to work on the technical memo.
And he didn't give us a time frame?
No,
I thought he did give us a time frame. I thought it was this month or today or something, but he's not here and he's out at a memorial service, so. I don't
Yeah,
think we want
I mean,
to.
I know, I'm just wondering if we need to put it on the agenda to ask him specifically about a
Well,
date for
the
that.
thing is,
How
if
important is
Lawrence,
it?
if Lawrence is gone, we can't move forward anyway, so that has to be. It has that final, basically Lawrence is the one that was asking for that, so that has to be done and approved by, I believe both, I think it's already been looked, has it been sent to Jesse Dollywell yet? I don't know, so.
There's several technical memos he's doing, like there was one just for well 8, there's one for the planning project. So I
This
think
is the
they're getting a
planning
little bit,
project, yeah,
isn't there like a few of them?
yeah, there is.
It's hard to keep
Yeah.
track of what's gone to who.
Yeah, which one?
I haven't heard nothing back from Jesse Dollywall stating that he'd read it. And D would include me in it. So,
And I thought the big thick one right there was the technical memo for the planning. That was my understanding, but I'm rather confused myself.
Yeah.
So maybe when D is back next week, we need to,
unconfuse him and us too?
yes.
Okay,
but it says he's continuing to work on the technical memo, so
Yeah.
it obviously hasn't gone anywhere. He's still
Right.
working on it.
Yeah, but he also said on 13B, there was nothing new from D Jasper and Associates, and that's not correct, so. So we'll just
On
take that
the,
in.
on the budget adjustment?
Yeah, that's his budget adjustment, so he can get paid. I mean, what, we did it, but he was part of that meeting, so.
No, what I'm saying is he doesn't have an update on that, cause you guys did it, right?
When did this
Yeah,
come
I'm
in?
usually the one that has an update on the budget adjustment, so.
Okay, well, anyway. Moot point. Well, we'll press them next week. So, unless anybody has anything else. Okay, 13E, discussion vote on the acquisition, but thank you, Director Gibson, for bringing that up because we do need to clarify. So I think we do need something. Or we just need to remember to clarify in each area what's where we are. Okay, 13E, discussion vote on the acquisition and development of the Well 8 property. So D Road proceeding with Well 8 acquisition. So we don't know exactly where that's at, but we did not have anything new in closed session. I think that we're just waiting for additional word from the property owners. So are there any other questions on that? Otherwise, I'll move on to F, which is the acquisition and development of well number 9 property. Again, D wrote working with Emily Wainwright and Jeff French on well number 9. Like I said, we did meet with the project ad hoc, and we met with Emily and Jeff, and we hammered out a new arrangement, which I think was amenable to both parties. So we're just kind of waiting to see where that goes, I believe. So 13G, discussion vote on the sphere of influence map. It's tabled, and the map has been completed and it's just sitting at LAFCO. 13H, discussion vote on the MSR. All of the aspects of that. He wrote, Bravish is working with the district to get some financial information for the MSR. So I guess Bravish has reached out to us.
He reached out. I think it may have stalled a little bit. I got to the email today when I came back and then kind of directed it. He had 2 questions about financial. One was a Lake of the Woods question. One was a planning project question. So I directed those to Carlos and Pam. So I think they're gonna do that, get back to him, and then we'll have that information he needed. Sorry.
The question, Tiffany, that I had is it specifically planning or is it any grants that have came in?
Well, in that line he wanted changed, he only referenced the planning project. So I think we may have to ask him.
Because if it's just planning, the only funds we've got for planning is we got the pre-planning for 500,000, and then we had the planning grant.
Okay, I'll ask him to clarify in an email so we know if he's asking about all of them.
In a MSR, you need to be able to clarify not just what's asked for specifically in the planning, but it's actually the scope of everything that's happening in this district and whether this district can actually handle consolidating with another district. So I would think that that's everything and not just the planning project.
But what he's asking for, Lisa, is what kind of state or federal funding has the district got since 2013? So that's why I want to clarify whether if it's just planning or if he wants all the grants that the district has gotten since 2013.
So also wanted an updated budget. He has the 5-year, but I think he's looking for a more updated, like actual 2023 numbers and more current projected 24 and 25. So I sent him again the one we had and said, you need to let us know if you require an updated budget, because if you do, I have to tell my committee that
and numbers have vastly changed since that.
Yeah.
So technically do need to do it.
So we're clarifying that with
But
him
what we
too.
were doing is we were waiting to get everything to the auditors, but maybe at this point we could actually
We gotta start working on this.
start that. And finish it quickly because we need it for the MSR.
Possibly,
Great.
yeah.
It's never ending. Okay, anything else on that? So Pam, you got that, whatever they were asking for from you, and you're gonna, and we'll know that, more about that next week?
Yeah, I just replied with all of the grants that we've gotten since 2013. I broke them down, figured whatever he needed, he could pull from that. The only thing I didn't add on there was
Okay.
any TA agreements with She. So Carlos, you can add that, any funding we got for you guys. And I already responded to the email earlier.
Okay.
Actually,
thank
he's
you, Pam.
responded back. He responded back 40 minutes ago, thanking us for the quick response. So he's received it.
Okay, great. Okay, so item 13I, that is tabled, it's the MOU, that's gonna continue to be tabled until either the end of this project or the beginning of the construction project. Item 13J is for Pam and Joan and Mary or whoever wants to comment on that. So that's discussion vote on Lake of the Woods projects and consolidation.
All right, so our project is moving along, and we were still geared for end of the year, early January, depending on weather. Sierra is scheduling pressure testing and lab testing and bringing sections of the subdivision online, and nothing new on the generator project or the $5 million grant project. Did you guys have any
Thank you,
questions?
Pam. Any other questions for Pam?
Okay, just lots of prayers as we go forward, guys.
Yes. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Okay, 13K, discussion vote on claims and payouts. That would normally be Carlos and Oscar, or actually Carlos on this one, but we don't have anything until next week, so that'll be brought up at the state update meeting. That'll be a little interesting because it immediately turns around into our planning meeting, state planning meeting, so that'll be approved on that evening. But that will be presented on that afternoon with the ad hoc. Anything else on item 13? Okay, moving on to item 14, discussion about update on Fraser Park Public Utility District meter replacement project and emergency well supply project. 14A, discussion about update on well number 7. So D has Lawrence is working on the amendment letter, said it would take a few months. He has not yet provided verbal authorization to proceed with a change order to abandon the well and complete the fencing. So that is on hold until we have that authorization. We are just waiting because we can't do any more work on the well or put the fence back there. So I think we're waiting on Lawrence for that. Anything else on that? 14B, discussion about update on meter replacement. D has no change. Meters are done. Brass fittings are still not here. They'll be available after the first of the year. Anyone have any questions on that? Okay, 14C, discussion vote on claims and payouts. That's the exact same thing that I said for the last claim and payout with Carlos, except this is the one with Oscar. The engineering contract will be submitted to the district next week, D says. So that was the thing that was holding us up. We do need a engineering contract.
That was for pipeline. That we need the engineering contract.
Oh. Many projects. Okay, so I think we need the engineering project for the pipeline, but we will discuss that with D. So we may need to write an email to D saying, no, you have this one, Carlos. It's the engineering contract so that we can send in all the paperwork for the pipeline, correct? You're good with this
I think
long draft.
I think the engineering contract that they're talking about is the one that that D signed with self-help. Since we're the ones paying for this right now. Um,
Yeah,
so I
we
got,
don't have anything with,
what's that?
yeah, but that's all on the pipeline. That's not on the well meter. That stuff was all signed already, as far as I know. That's been a long in application. I mean, that was approved and we're spending money on it, so.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I
He's just
thought you were
got it.
talking about the pipeline.
No, he's got it in the wrong place, so it's
Okay.
okay. We'll just remind him it's in the wrong place, so.
And then on claims and payouts, I didn't see it in this check detail, but I did give Deborah the information. We got claim 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 in on the meter well. So I gave those claim packets to Deborah so she can cut the checks out probably for next week's meeting.
Okay, so next week we'll have all of those claims, Carlos, if you wanna let Oscar know.
Okay.
The checks. Okay, so moving on to 14D. Discussion about update on bridge loan. No, we don't have any additional need for the bridge loan. And actually, yeah, so that we can just move on. So unless there's any other questions on 14, I'll go on to 15. Okay, 15, discussion vote on pipeline replacement project. 15A, discussion vote on potholing and mapping that is completed. 15B, discussion vote on engineering and design. D wrote, working on completing the plans and specs. The construction funding will take at least 4 to 6 months. Carlos is applying for the construction funding. So this is the one where we need his contract, but he has on 15C, contract will be submitted next week. So that's the discussion vote on the engineering contract, and that's with us because he has a contract with self-help. He doesn't have a contract with the district for the actual application. And we just need to remind him of who that contract's for, because I think he might still be thinking it's for self-help. Okay, and then 15D, discussion vote on the project application. Carlos, you've been dealing with that, but do we have anything else that we need currently in order to send off additional information? We have the financials in with the auditor. We have to wait obviously for something on those before we can update the financials as part of the application. And then we need that contract from D. Is there anything else that we need that's outstanding before we can?
Well, I sent the message to Tiffany, then Johnny, then to D as well, and D said he'd get me that file notice of exemption for the pipeline project, because I need that to finish up the environmental package. And I need a few other information that I'll try to get from Tiffany, because I need to get the average cost, the average monthly rate for the past year of your customers.
Average water bill?
Yeah, the average water bill for the past year, for your residential connections, and then for your commercial connections.
Okay.
And whatever I do, I'll reach out to Tiffany and try to get that info.
It's hard to separate residential from commercial, because RDS does not break it up like that. Breaks it up by meter size only, so
Well,
you
Well, the thing,
you
I
can
think
guess.
what the way we can do it too is because I know in residential there's what is it, 1250 or 1250 connections. The only thing is that there's 3/4 and there's inch connections, right?
Yeah,
And then the 3/4 is 6. Well, we'd have to try to get the average for the 3/4 and the inch, and then get the average of that. So that's, I mean, as best as we can.
Yeah.
It could be a good guesstimate. I mean, I don't think it has to be really exact, just as best we can.
Okay, any other questions on that? Okay, item 16, this, so I guess with that, we are done, Carlos, with, what we need as far as self-help. So, thank you so
Yes, sir.
much
Good night.
for being here and have a good weekend.
All right, you too. Bye.
Good night. Okay, bye.
Good night.
Thank you. Okay, so, item 16, discussion about update on Cal OES Community Power Resiliency Allocation of Special Districts Grants. Such a mouthful. Okay, 16A, discussion about update on the purchase of the generators. D just has, we're waiting for the load banks. The generators are all in the yard. They've been in the yard. So we can't do the load banks until we do B. 16B is discussion about an engineering and design. D wrote the plans and specifications for bidding are being prepared. As we discussed earlier, we need to discuss with D, whether he needs to tell us what that's going to look like and if it's too expensive, and we need to.
Monday, I'm gonna call the manufacturer of the generators and ask them if there's some specific reason why they should be set on a 12-inch slab, or if we could just set them on the ground.
I was gonna say, wasn't that what D came up with, that they needed to go on the 12-inch?
Well, I mean, we planned all along to put them on a slab to hold them down, and that's fine, but now that was when the district was gonna try to do it. Now
He
a
said the
contract,
slab needs to be, yeah.
now a
He's
contractor's
the one
gonna
who
come
said
in
that.
and they're gonna mark everything up through the roof, and it's gonna turn out to be a huge outlay of money.
But that was because D said that we needed like rebar, it was too
We always-
heavy for,
You always need rebar.
well, I mean, we
for a
need
slab.
like a thicker
Yeah,
slab with more
and-
robust
and-
rebar.
And it's not just that, again, if we just went to directly to a contractor to bid, it would be cheaper than going through the engineer. Because then we got the engineering oversight fee, we got the general that's probably gonna bid. He's gonna mark up the actual concrete contractor. It just snowballs into this big old huge cost, so if you don't have to do it, I'd rather
I
not do it.
think it'd probably be something that I don't believe that we have to go through an engineer to do that. I believe with prevailing wage, we just have to take, I think Dee's saying you have to do like closed bids. I don't believe that that's correct. I think we need to ask, our, attorney, because in the past, when we had very large bids that we were doing, we still had to sometimes do prevailing wage and we still had to do, actual bidding process, but we didn't have to do closed bids. So I think we just need
We
to find out.
did close bids, I mean, that's just a simple step, that's not a problem,
Right,
but my issue is it started off as a simple way to do it.
Mhm.
And now it's just blowing up into this
Right,
major deal, so.
but I'm saying that's because Dee seems to think that he has to do all of that, and if the attorney says that that is not correct, that we just need to make sure that we're going with 3 bids, because you have to have at least 3, so that we're being transparent, and that those bids are at prevailing wage, then we may be fine. I think we just need to double check on that. Because in the past, that's what we did. We did that. In the past, we've done larger projects without the engineer.
I agree, I just think it would be nice to staunch the hemorrhaging of funds and just set them on the ground if we could get away with that.
You're gonna find that out.
But on the ground, aren't they gonna have all kinds of issues with corrosion and other things that they wouldn't have on a slab or as quickly on a slab?
They set them on railroad ties or something,
The one in the yard, just the Generac, the small one.
setting on a gravel bed.
Okay, see, now they put mine on a pad, so.
Yeah, ideally, that's what you
So,
wanna do.
but no, I don't know why they did that, probably to charge me more money.
No, because it's good to do it. It's good to keep it up off the ground. It's a good, you want to anchor it down, especially if it was hardwired. You wouldn't want any chance of it moving,
And an
but we're not
earthquake
gonna
or-
hardwire the generators. We're gonna run leads to the panel. So there's different, I mean, obviously that's what we should do if we have the money, but I get the distinct impression we do not have the money, huge amounts of money.
Right.
And when we go to the next step, I'll tell you another reason why. So when you go to 17, talk about that.
Okay, so there are any other questions? I think we just need to, like I said, add a 16C, which talks about bidding and talks about this, discussion with our attorney. And if we're able to do it ourselves and we talk, then we can vote or not vote on that. Okay, so, now I'm afraid to ask, item 17.
Sorry.
Well,
I'm distracting you.
I'm fine. Item 17, discussion vote update on the water tanks repair and or replacement. So D Jasper wrote Tiffany submitted application for grant last week. We did, at the last minute, put in a, it's not the whole grant, it was just the
It's
discussion.
the NOI. There's big updates on all that.
Okay, so turn it over to Tiffany.
Unless Johnny wanted to talk first.
No, you go ahead and go.
Soften the blow.
Well, I just didn't know if his update should come.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it's nothing that you didn't know, but the state, every year they do a sanitary survey. Well, they got back with me and said, oh, well, by the way, you've never responded to the 2020 sanitary survey, which means, or the 2021. Now I'm gonna be getting the 2022. But what they pointed out and what's getting worse is we have leaks on parcel B, which we know they're getting worse. What we're gonna do about that. Forestry, we had a company come out and tighten bolts. That's got new leaks that we're gonna have to do. Wolf, it's had leaks. In that, and one of the reasons is because the hose bib got knocked outside the tank and it has to be drained and it's called a bulkhead fitting put in. Well, all that stuff costs money, so I need to figure out how much money we have in the replacement fund for those tanks. They were all, in the recent past, 2003, 2004, find out what we got there, so I know what kind of money we can spend.
Very little in the replacement fund, it's under $100,000.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's gonna cost that much, but ideally, like the bulkhead fitting, when we shut down everything to tie in the pipeline, if we could wait that long, then we could drain the tank down for the shutdown, and while we're doing that, we could put in the bulkhead fitting and tighten some bolts,
But the replacement is going to be, siphoned off by the, telemetry, which we
which
already.
is gonna be about $60,000.
Yeah, so it's gonna probably.
That's the same
You have,
replacement?
it's the same.
We don't
fund.
have
Yes,
the
there's only one,
All right,
and it is,
then yeah, so we'll scratch that then.
it's not a whole lot, I'll tell you exactly how much is in there. Around 70 or 80,000.
Well, is gonna eat up most of that, but
Almost positive it's below 100,000. I got a number of lots. This is recent, so, but,
that's all right, we don't have to.
So, yeah, I'm calling that here it is, at the very back. So because we can't spend the reserves, the way it works is there's two reserve funds.
Yeah, no, I understand, I'm
And
just talking
those,
about.
those we can't touch, and then the replacement fund does have money going into it every month, but it's only about. Okay, so, no, it's a little more than that, it's 156,967.
Okay, so that would cover it then if I had to spend $20,000 on.
Wait,
tank
wait,
company,
wait,
so-
that's not right. Reserve Oh, yeah, no, that's very funding.
All right, so we're doing okay as far as that goes. And it might not cost that much. I just gotta get somebody out here again.
156, yeah, that's, I'm wrong, this is over 100,000.
All right.
Okay. And that we have to ask.
Yeah.
We just have to run it by USDA
Just like I did with
with like you did with the SCADA, yeah. Okay, any other questions on item 17?
Oh, my update. So what we did was submit a notice of interest for funding from Cal OES Hazard Mitigation Grant. So we got the NOI in time, but I spoke to them that Monday, had a conference with them. I got a lot of information about the two big grants that they offered, the hazard mitigation and the BRIC grant. So we can't do BRIC grant because it requires that we have a hazard mitigation plan in current and approved by FEMA, which we do not. So we can't do, plus BRIC grants start at like $25 million. So our project isn't big enough. But when we do get the plan in place, we have an interesting funding source, a big funding source. It's at least it's a possibility, and we know it's there.
Sorry, really quick question about back when Greg was still here, before Johnny, we did a hazard mitigation plan. Is that not
on file with FEMA? I don't think we have one right now, and I don't know how long they last.
okay?
Like whether it expired, if there's a term on it. But if you remember a few months back, Kern County asked us to be a part of the county hazard mitigation plan. The good thing is you guys said yes. It's not going to start until 2024, but as part of that planning, we get included in on that, and that will count as our plan. So we'll have it in place. So it's a good thing we went forward with that. There is no current funding available for the hazard mitigation plan, although they gave me suggestions on the notice of interest and how to adjust it to fit their narrative. And they said it would be a qualifying project, which is good. And being that we're in with Kern County, they will let us proceed with a sub-applicant application because we're working with Kern on the hazard mitigation plan. It's just the funding is not yet. Now, on another source, Kern County is accepting applications for their block grants. Applications aren't due until December 15th, so we do have a month. I don't know how much funding there is under that grant, but it is for infrastructure replacement for water districts that are
Disadvantaged?
yeah, thank you for reading my mind. That wasn't working. As disadvantaged communities. That may be a perfect grant. What we do need to ask you guys is that application has a lot of engineering questions, things that are probably beyond me and possibly Johnny. You would have to approve me asking D if he's willing to work on that application. One, D has to have the time. You know, he'd have to say yes, but two, you know, there may be costs involved with him working on that application.
Well, what about self-help?
I don't know if self-help works on grants from agencies other than the state. I know they get their technical assistance funding from the state, and the grants we're looking at
For
are
county.
DWR type grants. This is a county grant. So, you know, I don't know how much he's gonna charge, you know, if it's just going through some questions. But do
won't
we
know that
wanna
till-
ask D to help us submit that application?
Could we look at the application first?
Yeah, it's about 4 or 5, it's in my basket, it's about 4 or 5 pages of questions about like the specifics of what we need and why on the tanks. But I mean, right now, any funding source we can work on getting would be a good
I
thing.
would say, since we only have a month, I mean, I can't entertain the motion, but I mean, I can entertain the motion, but I can't make a motion, but, I would say we might think about D, if it's not horribly complicated, it shouldn't cost us that much just to fill out the initial application, right? And then we kind of go from there.
But luckily, he's busy. He has tons of historical data that from explaining the water system for multiple projects. So it'd be cheaper for him to do it than to have like Provost and Pritchard come in that knows nothing about our system, and now they got to do all this research to get to that point. So I think we got to take whatever shot we can get at funding.
But the good news is, I mean, I'm hitting all the funding options out there, and this may be a good one. I mean, it's a Kern County grant.
So we can vote on that, so I would entertain some sort of motion to allow our Tiffany to work with our engineer to try to fill that out for Kern County.
I will make a motion that we ask Tiffany to contact our engineer to see if he is willing and able to help us fill out this grant from DWR.
No,
No,
this
from the
is from the
county.
Kern
From the
County
county.
block, Kern County block grant.
Have you
Okay.
heard of it?
Yeah, we've
information,
actually-
like, we may have tried to do
We've
it.
done one before a long time ago.
Okay, I
I
was
think,
wondering.
I don't know if we got it, but there have been block grants, like this community has gotten block grants
Mhm.
before. That's how I think we got I think that the grant that we got was part of a block grant for the beautification.
Yeah, I saw information in the old files, so I was wondering if we had.
I know, we got something. I can't
Okay.
remember if it was the beautification project or something else, but yeah, we've done it before.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
And it is like a significant amount of money, but it gets distributed throughout Kern County, and the
Right.
faster you can get I know it's like always like a shovel ready thing, so it has to be like all ready to go or something.
Well, luckily, like parcel B, I would bet that somewhere in those files is the preliminary engineering report
It's everything, yeah.
on doing that tank. So all that stuff should just be easily transferred over. Like, here, this is what we need to replace this tank. That hopefully is the way it would go.
I don't know, we need to ask about it, but yeah, they definitely. I mean, we haven't gotten a lot of them up here because I know, like, I was looking at. A couple of years ago, I don't remember what it was in regard to, but the different block grants that were happening,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't miss the boat on some of them, but
So worth a try.
yeah.
There's a motion on the floor. Becky, would you like to second my motion?
Oh, I'm sorry,
We
I'll
have to-
second it.
Okay,
Okay, so there's a motion and a second, any other discussion? Actually, we were discussing before the motion and second, so I'm getting
Yes.
loopy now. Okay, so, roll call directors, Director Garcia is absent, Director Nyman is absent, Director Kelly,
aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
and Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that motion passes 3-0-0, 2 absent. We will be talking to our engineer, Tiffany will be talking to our engineer in regard to trying to get the application going for Kern County block grant. Okay, so do we want to take a recess?
No,
Okay, so we're gonna skip
And
our
ignore
break.
18 for me putting it on there twice.
yeah, I was gonna just say, that's a duplication, okay.
Okay, so we're going to
Thank
skip
you, I appreciate it.
skip the recess. 18 has already been discussed. And 19.
I will
discussion
move,
vote on
I will
district's
move
record
that
retention
that
policy.
we, table 19 and 20 until we until the December meeting, first December meeting. So hopefully maybe we'll have some directors.
Okay, is there a second to that table motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, that's motioned and seconded. Director Garcia, roll call directors. Director Garcia is absent. Director Nyman is absent. Director Killing,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye. So 19 and 20 are tabled until the next regular meeting in December. Item 21, discussion vote on purchasing a turkey or ham for the employees for Thanksgiving.
I remember.
I thought we had a standing thing on this.
It's been on there every year.
Yeah, but I think last year we just said that,
Standing thing.
that
I
it was a
thought-
standing thing, but But I will make a motion to give Johnny permission to buy either a turkey or a ham for our employees.
Do I hear a second?
Oh, I'll second it. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's motioned and seconded. I'm gonna do a roll call of directors. Do you have a limit or anything you wanna put on that, or are you good with
Cheapest.
turkey
Always
and
get the
ham?
best deal I can.
Best deal on
What are
turkey
they
and
going
ham.
for? 20, 30, $40?
Yeah.
I think I'd be up
20 something.
60 or 70, I don't know.
You guys haven't set a limit for a long time.
Yeah, I was asking. Okay, Director Garcia is absent, Director Nyman is absent, Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that motion passes 3-0-0, 2 absence. And we just need to make sure that it gets put in the correct spot on the financials now, because we found that
Yes.
we have a new category for that.
But Deborah has been doing really well and
Yeah,
we will make
and the
sure.
financial ad hoc, I mean, not sending the accounts payable ad hoc.
Right.
Put it in the right place. Okay, 22, we already tabled. So that is not happening. 23, do we have a discussion vote on future agenda items?
I have one thing for you.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
yes, go ahead.
Hi, Tiffany, just to let you know that on your website, it's still showing both of the meetings, the regular meeting and the state planning meeting as being at 6 o'clock.
On, where is that? Like, where are you
when I-
looking that it says?
I pulled up the website, I clicked on the one that said meetings, and it showed that a calendar showing that all of the different meetings, and it said that the meetings start at 6 o'clock.
Okay, I'll look for that, and if I can't find it, I'll email you if that's okay.
Sure,
Wonder
that's
if it's
great,
in a
thanks.
description. Okay,
Mike.
thank you.
Alrighty.
Thank you, Joan. So that's not really an agenda item, but we will handle that, and Tiffany will thank you for catching that, that's pretty important. Okay, anything else? Discussion vote on future agenda items. Okay, well, with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
I second it.
Okay, motion is seconded, Director Garcia is absent, Director Nyman is absent, Director Kelling is. And
Aye.
Director Gibson
Aye.
and Director Schoenberg is an aye, so we are, and I forgot to mention when we started the meeting, I think.
It was at 6:05.
7:25 is when we are adjourning. So the meeting is now adjourned, and I guess, Director Kelling will be coming by your house, Becky, to have you sign checks, and then you're gonna go by the post office and mail everything, and then I think you have a couple of other things to sign.
Yes.
Rectamundo.
Yeah,
It'll
that's
be in a
fine.
few minutes.
It'll be a few minutes because I think Tiffany has to still amend something.
Yes.